Hello students, welcome back to my channel Commerce Tute, your flight to success. And yes, today we are going to solve question number 7 of chapter 2 of the subject secretarial practice 12th commerce. Students, आप लोग question number 7 आंसर द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चन स्क्रीन पर देख ही सकते हो। और ये टॉपिक्स हमने बार बार किए हुए हैं, बट फिर भी हम इनको स्क्रीनशॉट के जरिए आपको दिखाएंगे और इसको एक्सप्लेन भी करेंगे। एंड वी विल लेट यू नो लिटिल बिट ऑफ स्ट्रेटजीज ऑल्सो टू राइट द बेस्ट आंसर एवर। ठीक है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई विल रीड द क्वेश्चन चिल्ड्रन, सो विदाउट डिलेइंग मच लेट्स बिगिन। क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, व्हाट इज शेयर एंड स्टेट इट्स फीचर्स। आई होप स्टूडेंट्स बाय नाउ we are aware about it. Then comes what is an equity share, explain its features. Third question is define preference shares, what are the different types of preference shares. Next is what are preference shares, again state its features. What is debenture, discuss the different types of debentures. Last but not the least, define debenture and explain the features of debentures. Students, अगर आप थोड़ा सा इन सारे क्वेश्चंस को गौर से देखोगे, एक तो आपको शेयर पूछ रहे फीचर्स, फिर इक्विटी शेयर्स पूछ रहे, फिर प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स पूछ रहे, डिबेंचर पूछ रहे, उनके फीचर्स और टाइप्स पूछ रहे। सो इट इज अ वेरी इजी गोइंग टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस विच आर स्कोरिंग ऑल्सो। ठीक है, तो लेट्स बिगिन चिल्ड्रन। द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, एज आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, आई हैव जस्ट पुट द क्वेश्चन नंबर्स देयर in the slides sorry in the slides, so that answers will be there and we will also have a understanding about these questions plus how you are supposed to write the answers. So the first question here is children is about what is share and state its features. Students, this is about the share. So you have to write about what do you mean by share, which you can see on the screen. You can write according to the Companies Act 2013, share means a share in the share capital of a company and includes stock. थोड़ा सा शेयर के बारे में मीनिंग भी बता दो, इट विल बी ऑलवेज बेटर व्हेन यू राइट वन लाइन सेंटेंस ऑफ शेयर। आप लिखो शेयर इज अ यूनिट बाय विच द शेयर कैपिटल इज डिवाइडेड, है ना। द टोटल कैपिटल ऑफ कंपनी इज डिवाइडेड इनटू स्मॉल पार्ट्स and each part is called share and the value of each part or unit is known as face value. Share is a small unit of capital of a company. It facilitates the public to subscribe to the capital in smaller amount. So sorry, this you can write about what do you mean by share. ठीक है students, a person can purchase any number of shares and he wishes. This is an added thing you can definitely write, and the person who purchases the shares is called a shareholder or a member of that company. ये थोड़ा सा आप लिख सकते हो because it will give a good, again I'll say, because जब आप मीनिंग लिखते हो तो थोड़ा डिटेल में ही लिखो. It will really help your answers to look very impressive. Then they have also asked us about the features. Students, you can see on the screen features already I have shared with you. हमने इसके ऊपर डिस्कशन भी किया है और अब तो हमने इतने डिस्कशन किए हैं कि इफ यू गेट एनी क्वेश्चन राइट नाउ, इफ समबडी आस्क यू, आई थिंक डेफिनेटली आप उस पोजीशन में हो कि आप वो आंसर कर पाओ. सो आई विल जस्ट रीड आउट हियर स्टूडेंट्स द फीचर्स. ऑब्वियसली मीनिंग, शेयर इज द स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट इन द टोटल शेयर कैपिटल. ओनरशिप, द ओनर ऑफ द शेयर इज कॉल्ड शेयर होल्डर. ओके, डिस्टिंक्टिव नंबर, अनलेस डीमटेरियलाइज ईच शेयर हैज अ डिस्टिंक्ट नंबर. इसके ऊपर बातें हो चुकी है. Okay, I'll remind you children, all the explanations are already there in the videos uploaded. Kindly check those videos. This is a revision sort of, so I'm just discussing with you how you are supposed to write. और यही वो points है जो आप लिख सकते हो. It's a very simple question otherwise also. ठीक है. Next is evidence of title. A share certificate is issued by a company under its common seal. Okay, this is the answer which you're supposed to write, and it is a document of title of ownership. Students, exactly this way also you can write. You can add if you want to add little bit more, and you can also write in your own words. ऐसा नहीं है जो टेक्स्ट बुक में दिया है वही लिखना है. You can write in your own words also. Then comes the fifth feature, that is value of share, face value, issue price. All these are the value of shares. What is face value, children? I hope you are aware. The value is written on the share certificate in the mentioned in the memorandum. ठीक है. Issue price, price at which a company sells its shares. So ये सारे features है. ये सब आपको याद रखने हैं। बहुत सारे फीचर्स है एक्चुअली, देयर आर 10 फीचर्स, द बेस्ट 8 अगर आपने याद रख लिया तो इट्स ऑलवेज गुड। Market value which we have already studied children, the value of share is determined by the demand and supply of forces, ठीक है। तो बाकी जो भी points है students, we have already studied that, but if I feel that I should give you some explanation again which you will feel little bit difficult, तो मैं वो definitely explain करूंगी। लेकिन rights we are all aware, share अगर आप खरीदते हो तो it have certain rights on the holders, receives dividend, inspect statutory books, remember shareholders meetings, इनकम, क्या इनकम है शेयर होल्डर का, ऑब्वियसली डिविडेंड, ट्रांसफरेबिलिटी, yes the share of a public limited company are freely transferable which is provided in the articles, property of shareholder is a movable property क्योंकि share itself is a property, right। फिर kinds of share आता है children, under that equity shares and preference shares, kinds of shares के अंदर आएगा equity shares के दो different कौन से है, equity shares with voting rights and with differential voting rights, ठीक है। Then under preference shares you have so many, ये हम सब ये इसके ऊपर एक क्वेश्चन ही है children, we are going to definitely explain them, but I'll read out for you because it is a revision video, then definitely जब मेरे साथ आप भी जब read करोगे तो definitely it will help you to improve your memory और ये सारे points आपके mind में fit हो जाएंगे। So that's the reason why I'm reading, because just writing the same thing doesn't make any difference। जब answers आपके सामने हैं तो आप इस वीडियो को एक रिवीजन की तरह भी ले सकते हो, ठीक है। सो प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स के अंदर कौन से आते हैं चिल्ड्रन, क्यूमुलेटिव प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स, नॉन क्यूमुलेटिव प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स, पार्टिसिपेटिंग, नॉन पार्टिसिपेटिंग, कन्वर्टेबल, नॉन कन्वर्टेबल, रिडीमेबल, इरिडीमेबल, दिस आर द काइंड्स ऑफ और टाइप्स ऑफ प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स, ठीक है। सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन चिल्ड्रन, 7.1 का है ये। आई होप दिस आंसर इज वेरी क्लियर, just remember them and you can add little bit more points also, ठीक है। Then comes question number 2 under question number 7 में, the second question is our favorite children, ये तो everybody has this answer on their tip of their tongue you can say, what is an equity share, explain its features। डेफिनेटली स्टूडेंट्स दिस इज व्हाट इज इक्विटी शेयर्स, और हमने इसके पहले जो वीडियो किया था जहां पर क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 भी हमने एक्सप्लेन किया था, वहां पे इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर के बारे में बहुत कुछ लिखा है हमने। सो व्हाट इज एन इक्विटी शेयर, इक्विटी शेयर इज ऑल्सो नोन एज ऑर्डिनरी शेयर्स, आप लिख सकते हो दो शेयर्स विच आर नॉट प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स, और यू कैन ऑल्सो राइट इक्विटी शेयर्स आर दो शेयर्स विच आर वेयर दे हैव राइट्स टू पार्टिसिपेट इन द मैनेजमेंट, ओके दे आर द रिस्क टेकिंग पीपल, okay they are the co-owners, equity shareholders are the co-owners of the company, they are the residual claimants, equity shareholders do not carry any fixed commitment of dividend, they have fluctuations। तो ये थोड़ा सा आप ऐड कर सकते हो, पहले तो मीनिंग बता दो, फिर उसके बाद थोड़ा 2-3 लाइन जो है वो आप इक्विटी शेयर्स के बारे में या इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स के बारे में भी बता देना। एंड व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग सच टाइप ऑफ आंसर्स चिल्ड्रन, ऑलवेज ड्रॉ लिटिल बिट ऑफ चार्ट, है ना। शायद ही मैंने मेरे पहले वीडियो में जब मैं एक्सप्लेन कर रही थी तभी भी आपको मैंने ये बोला है कि सेंटर में आप इक्विटी शेयर लिखो एंड मेक एन एरो फ्रॉम ऑल द साइड्स एंड राइट ऑल द फीचर्स, एंड देन वन बाय वन यू राइट द नेम ऑफ द फीचर्स आफ्टर द एरो, एंड देन वन बाय वन एक्सप्लेन द फीचर्स, ठीक है। सो दिस इज हाउ यू आर सपोज टू राइट द मीनिंग ऑफ इक्विटी शेयर्स। स्टूडेंट्स एग्जैक्टली सेम लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज वी हैव लॉट ऑफ पॉइंट्स नाउ, हमने इतने डिस्कस करे हुए हैं कि अब हम लिख सकते हैं ना बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स। तो जल्दी से इनके फीचर्स जान लेते हैं, विच अगेन आर वेरी सिंपल चिल्ड्रन। परमानेंट कैपिटल स्टूडेंट्स आई जस्ट रीड आउट एंड थोड़ा सा मैं एक्सप्लेनेशन जरूर दूंगी जस्ट टू हेल्प यू आउट इन लिटिल बिट मोर रिकलेक्टिंग द पॉइंट विच वी हैव ऑलरेडी स्टडीड। तो फर्स्ट फीचर है परमानेंट कैपिटल, यस। इक्विटी शेयर्स आर इररिडीमेबल शेयर्स, तो इक्विटी शेयर इज नॉट रिफंडेबल ड्यूरिंग द लाइफ टाइम ऑफ द कंपनी, वो तभी दिया जाता है ड्यूरिंग द वाइंडिंग अप ऑफ द कंपनी when the company decides to buy back the shares, ठीक है। So that's why it is a long term. Fluctuating dividend, because equity shareholders do not get fixed dividend, okay, they get if the company makes high profit, high dividend, less profit, less dividend, no profit, no dividend, okay। So all these things, and who takes care about all this? The board of directors have to take a call on this, they may postpone the payment also। Rights जो हम बात कर रहे students, the third feature, right to vote, right to share in profit, right to inspect books, right to transfer shares, these are all the rights which we have already discussed। I would like to tell you, kindly go to the playlist where you will get all the explanations, and I think these are self-explanatory also. No preferential right children, ये और एक feature है. Equity shareholders do not enjoy any preferential right. They get fluctuation. Their dividend is in fluctuations. They are paid dividend only after paying the preference shareholders. They are the residual claimants. ठीक है. और बहुत सारे हैं, बहुत मतलब 12 है. आप the best 10 याद रख लो. I feel that all are simple points. If you remember all, it is good. But the best which you feel that you can remember, then you can go for it. Controlling power, definitely children. कौन है? Equity shareholder है. Why? Because they are masters of the company. उनको voting rights होते हैं, उनको बहुत सारे rights होते हैं company में. They participate in the management and affairs of the company. They elect the representative called the directors to manage the company. So as a whole, equity shareholders enjoy control over the company. ठीक है. जैसे हमने बोला, वो books भी inspect करते हैं ना, right to inspect the books. Then risk की बारी है. Equity shareholders bear the maximum risk children. इसीलिए उनको क्या कहा जाता है? Shock absorbers. Because they are there with the company during financial crisis. Definitely company ज्यादा profit करती हो तो more dividend, less than less, है ना. Market value of equity shares comes down, resulting into capital loss. So they are the risk takers. ठीक है. And then our favorite point, residual claimants. Yes. Equity shareholders as owners are the residual claimants children, because all the earnings after the expenses, obviously, taxes are paid. And residual claim means the last claim on the earnings of the company. Clear? No charge on the asset. The equity shares do not create any charge over the assets of the company. Bonus issues. Shares are issued to whom, children? Yes, equity shareholders as a gift. These shares are issued free of cost. Remember, and it is issued out of the accumulated profits and are issued in proportion to the shares held. ये सारे important points ही तो है. So you have to write in your own words as well. Rights issue दिया जाता है when company gets needs more funds for expansion purpose. They raise further capital by issue of shares. Existing shareholders को भी दिया जाता है. That means may be given priority to get newly offered shares. इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? इसको हम rights issue कहते हैं. ठीक है. And these are offered to the equity shareholders कैसे? In the proportion to the existing shareholding. So ये सारी चीजें हुई है children. Then comes your face value. The value of the equity shares is low, that is 10 to 1. 10 भी हो सकता है या even 1. Market value fluctuates demand और supply की वजह से. Remember, it depends on the profits earned by the company and the dividend is declared accordingly. ज्यादा profit, ज्यादा dividend, कम profit, कम dividend. ठीक है. So these are the features of equity shares. So we have studied already, but we have revised all 12 points children, and these are the answers how you are supposed to write. ठीक है. So now let us go to the third question again. What define preference shares and what are the different types of preference shares? ये भी discussion हो चुका है, but still we will do it. Students, you can write. See, here they are saying define preference shares. You can say that preference shares have certain preferential rights distinct from those attached to equity shares, and then preferential right as to payment of dividend during the lifetime of the company. ये आप लिख सकते हो. Preferential right as to return of capital in the event of winding up of the company. ये भी आप लिख सकते हो. ठीक है. The holder of preference shares have prior right to receive fixed rate of dividend before any dividend is paid to the equity shareholders. Then the rate of dividend is prescribed as at the time of the issue. Then the main important thing, preference shares को voting rights नहीं होते हैं. Remember, they have only voting rights on the matter, on the matters which affect their interest. Then comes they have matters. Which are those matters? Selling of undertaking, changing rights of preference shares, all these things. So preference shareholders are the co-owners of the company but not controllers. So this is how you are supposed to write this answer, children. Preference shares are very simple. If you write them in a very simple way, I think definitely it will become a very impressive answer. That's what is actually required, है ना? Because so much of explanations we have already done on the, preference shares, that lot of things have been discussed, and by now we are aware that what actually are the preference shares, है ना. So let us go to the next answer of this, that is types of preference shares, children. You can see on the screen there are different types of preference shares. Cumulative preference shares, students, we have already discussed about this. Dividend, to be shares on which dividend goes on accumulating until it is fully paid. This dividend is not paid in 1 or more years due to inadequate funds. So unpaid dividend gets accumulated and is paid when company performs well. Okay. So the arrears of dividend are paid before making payment to equity shareholders. So यहाँ पर क्या होता है, accumulate होता है. So this answer also you can write like this. Non-cumulative, obviously opposite of that, it is not accumulated, है ना. Participating, they can participate in surplus profit besides preferential dividend, surplus profit which remains after dividend has been paid to the equity shareholders up to a certain limit is distributed to preferences. Non-participating, जो participate नहीं करते हैं, there is no clear provision in the articles. These shareholders are entitled to fixed rate of dividend prescribed at the time of issue. Convertible preference shares that can be converted into preference shares, have right to convert their preference shares into equity shares and within a certain fixed period. Non-convertible क्या हो सकता है? They are not convertible into equity shares. Redeemable, which can be redeemed after certain fixed period of time, are called as redeemable preference shares. And company limited by shares, if authorized by articles of association, issues redeemable preference shares. तो ये सारी बातें हुई है. You have to remember, children, I think you have to remember all 8. It's better, or otherwise you can limit it to the best 6. It is always better to remember all 7 or 8. You may never know, they may just twist the question a little bit and then you have to remember few points. तो सिर्फ head points भी अगर आपको याद रहेंगे तो you can write little bit about your own, right? तो redeemable हो गया, then comes irredeemable preference shares. तो ये वो है जो redeem नहीं होते हैं. They are payable only on winding up of the company. So that's it about the types of preference shares. ठीक है. ये सारे, yes, I would like to tell my new subscribers, those who have just watched only this video as a revision part of it, all these explanations have been already uploaded in the videos which are there in the playlist of secretarial practice. Kindly you all can see there, or I will try to put in the description box also. And then the next question is about preference shares and its features. Children, preference shares के बारे में हमने already इतनी सारी बातें की है. मैंने same slide डाला हुआ है, मैंने same screenshot डाला है. You can write preference shares. Try to write in your own words and just mail me if I get it in. I'll evaluate it and I'll let you know how you have written. ठीक है, that also I can do. Then they have asked us the features of preference share, students. Obviously, I will just read out the head points here because explanations इनके हो चुकी है, but little bit added explanation I will try to give. Preference for dividend, definitely preference shareholders को क्या मिलता है? Preference मिलता है in the payment of dividend before equity shareholders. Preference for repayment of capital, yes, during the they get the preference for the return of capital when the company is liquidated or winding up. ठीक है. Fixed return, yes, preference shareholders को rate of dividend fix मिलता है. Nature of capital, it is not, do not provide any permanent share capital जैसे equity shareholders provide करते हैं ना, वैसा कुछ नहीं है. Company cannot issue irredeemable preference shares which we have already studied. और especially preference shareholder कब raise करते हैं? In the later stage of the company when company is settled or established, due to satisfy the additional capital, है ना. जब एडिशनल कैपिटल की जरूरत होती है तभी ही वो प्रेफरेंस शेयर की तरफ जाते हैं. ठीक है, बिकॉज सेफ एंड जो डिविडेंड है वो फ्लक्चुएट नहीं होता है, फिक्स होता है. मार्केट वैल्यू डज नॉट चेंज एज द रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट डिविडेंड पेएबल टू देम इज फिक्स्ड. वोटिंग राइट्स नहीं होते हैं, थोड़े ही होते हैं बट विच इज रिलेटेड ओनली टू देयर मैटर ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, लाइक चेंज इन द टर्म्स ऑफ रीपेमेंट कैपिटल, डिविडेंड पेएबल, उन चीजों में उनको वोटिंग राइट्स होते हैं. रिस्क, नो रिस्क, कॉशियस होते हैं बहुत. Safety of capital and steady return on investment are the advantage of these types of shares. These shares are boon for the shareholder during depression period, definitely. Face value क्या होता है? बहुत महंगा होता है children. It is issued at the face value of 100 because equity share के तुलना में तो बहुत ज्यादा है. राइट्स और बोनस इशू नहीं मिलता है प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर को. नेचर ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स, इट अट्रैक्ट्स मॉडरेट टाइप ऑफ इन्वेस्टर्स क्योंकि वो बहुत ही कॉन्जर्वेटिव और कॉशियस होते हैं. And it is a safety type of capital who want steady income, they can go for preference share capital. ठीक है. So ये हुआ preference shares के बारे में features. Let us go to the next. Then comes debentures. Students, the next question जो हम करने वाले हैं, यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो that they have told you, they are asking you about debentures. So you have to write, yes, this is there. See, if they ask you define debentures or what you mean by debenture or what is debenture, students, I always prefer and I'll tell you that you write both. आप मीनिंग भी लिखो और उसका एक डेफिनेशन भी लिखो. पामर का लिखो या टोफम का लिखो, बट लिखो. First you start with yes, it is one of the principal source of raising borrowed capital to meet long-term financial needs. And it has come from the Latin word debere, which means to owe, and you can write the word debenture includes debenture, stock, bonds, other instruments, evidence, instrument of a company evidencing a debt, whether constituting a charge on the asset of the company. Then you can write debenture means a document which either creates, because this entire paragraph is important, children, actually. ठीक है, तो आप लिख सकते हो debenture constitutes charge on some property of company, but there may be a debenture without any such charge also, जो अभी शायद exist नहीं होता. They have mostly secured debentures. Palmer की जो definition है या Topham के definition include करो. Whichever you feel easy, you can go for Palmer. Debenture is an instrument under seal evidencing debt, essence of being admission of indebtedness, or a debenture is a document given by a company as evidence of debt to the holder, usually arising out of loan and most commonly secured by charge. Or simply you can write debenture is an evidence of indebtedness. ठीक है, you can write actually entire thing. Try to write the important main points which will show your answer in a very different way. तो फिर नेक्स्ट हमारा पूछा गया है टाइप्स ऑफ डिबेंचर्स. स्टूडेंट्स, आप देख सकते हो स्क्रीन पर. ऑन द बेस ऑफ सिक्योरिटी देयर आर सम डिबेंचर्स, ऑन द बेस ऑफ ट्रांसफर, ऑन द बेस ऑफ रीपेमेंट, ऑन द बेस ऑफ कन्वर्जन. तो सिक्योर डिबेंचर्स सिक्योर होते हैं ऑन चार्ज ऑफ द एसेट की तरह, है ना. द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ कंपनी मे बी चार्ज एज सिक्योरिटी फॉर लोन सम पर्टिकुलर असेट और इट मे असेट इन जनरल. Unsecured, there is no charge on the asset. Registered, which are registered. Okay, those debentures on which the name of the holders are recorded. A company maintains register of debenture holders in which the name and ये पूरा discussion हो चुका है students. Bearer debenture क्या है? Do not recorded on the bearer debentures. Name of the holders are not recorded on the bearer debentures. Their name doesn't appear on the register of debenture holders. तो ये सारी चीजें आप सारा लिख सकते हो. These answers you can write exactly, but if you want to write in the point form, तो you go to my videos. वहां पर point मैंने highlight किए, वो point याद रखो बस. You can write the entire answers. Then you have redeemable, irredeemable. Obviously, debentures are mostly redeemable, payable at the end of some fixed period as mentioned on the debenture certificate. Irredeemable are not repayable during the lifetime of the company. Convertible debentures right to the holder to convert them into equity shares. Non-convertible are not convertible into equity shares. Isn't it, children? So just see the screen and just keep revising, I would like to say. Again, the last question is again about debentures. You can write the same answer here. What is meant by debenture पूछ रहे तो आप पूरा meaning भी लिखो और एक definition भी लिखो. And whatever points I have discussed in the previous debenture slide, वैसे ही लिखना. And write in a very keep your handwriting neat, children, because your handwriting, जैसे we say, the first impression is the last impressions. For the evaluator, your handwriting is the first impression. If it looks very attractive and very nicely written, neat and clean, which I meant, so definitely rest is history, you can say. Again, they have asked us the features of debentures. So these are the features, children. Promise, it's a promise. Debenture is a promise by company that owes specified sum of money to holder. Face value 100 and multiples of 100. Time of repayment with the due date stated in the debenture certificate. Priority of repayment, obviously इनको have priority in the repayment, assurance of repayment, yes, long term debt है ये, interest मिलता है agreed upon and is paid periodically in case of debentures. Parties कौन कौन सी होती है, company, trustee, debenture holders. Students, yes, I am just reading the points and trying to add little bit of one sentence because we have already done this. और ये साथ साथ आप भी पढ़ो so that आपका भी revision हो जाए. That is the main thing, because the more you read faster, because you have read this n number of times, now I think we have that little bit of speed, है ना, sort of. Then parties कौन कौन से हैं, company, trustee and debenture holders. Because if I will go on, explaining again everything, which because I am doing it, because I am adding little bit so that जो भी आप ऐसे देखते ही कुछ भी बोल सकोगे, वैसे वाले additions मैं अभी कर रही हूँ. लेकिन if I am going to read everything, then it will become 1 hour of video, है ना, वीडियो का जो लेंथ है वो 1 hour हो जाएगा. So I feel that I'm just doing revising sort of and adding a few points which will definitely help you. Maybe when you want to revise, you can watch this video and recollect whatever you have studied. उसके लिए भी ये help करेगा. Then 8th feature is authority to issue debentures. किसको है, board of directors obviously. Status of debenture holders is a creditor of the company. Obviously no voting rights children, debenture holders को voting rights नहीं होता है ना. No company shall issue any debenture carrying voting rights, have no right to vote at general meeting also. Security, yes, debentures are generally secured by fixed or floating charge on the assets of the company. If company is not in the position to make payment of interest or repayment of capital, the debenture holders can sell off the charged property. Issuers, debentures can be issued by both private and public. Listing होता है, debentures must be listed with at least one recognized stock exchange. Transferability, debentures can be easily transferred through the instrument of transfer. ठीक है? So I think we have also understood the features of debentures. Simple hai children. We are studying this shares, preference shares, equity shares, debentures, types of debentures, features of equity shares, types of equity shares, or even features of preference shares, type of preference shares. ये बहुत ही dare to come वाले questions है एग्जाम में, जो definitely आएंगे, and you should be prepared. Even though you know the answer, you know that these questions are going to come, लेकिन you have to be prepared to write the answer, children. That is the most important thing, because you think you can just write नहीं, anything नहीं होता है. You have to write with know-how, मतलब you should know how to write. ये सारे जो answers है definitely उनके meaning तो आप लिखो ही हर आंसर में. Definition होता है तो definitely लिखो. एक ग्राफ क्रिएट करो इन द सेंटर, राइट द मेन टॉपिक इन द सेंटर, एरोज के साथ उसको थोड़ा सा प्रेजेंटेबल करो, राइट दिस पॉइंट्स, डेफिनेटली ट्राई दिस इन योर टर्म और प्रिलिमिनरी एग्जाम्स एंड यू विल सी द चेंज. जस्ट इंक्रीज द वैल्यू ऑफ द आंसर चिल्ड्रन. ठीक है? सो दैट्स इट चिल्ड्रन इन दिस वीडियो, एंड I think by this question I am done with the entire exercises of chapter 2 of secretarial practice 12th commerce, and I hope that this video will really help you to solve or help you to revise at least question number 7, and you will be perfect with these questions. I hope that this video have helped you in understanding the questions and writing also, and whenever, and kindly read the video, check out the video entirely, क्योंकि हम थोड़े से tips share करते रहते हैं children. So I hope the concepts and the questions, in this case the questions are clear. So if this video have really helped you children, kindly like, subscribe and share so that others also get the advantage. So that's it in this video children. Thank you so much, and soon I'll be starting with the next chapter of secretarial practice. So stay tuned. Keep subscribing, keep watching, keep sharing. Thank you so much.